So I had an idea, and I'm going to share my screen just for a quick second and show you my idea. So I'm going to presume I've been, hitting the bandwagon of this concept of, look, all we want to do is make you aware of opportunities so that you can become more flexible and have more options, which will give you more power. So to that end, Puma, I'm very proud of you for keeping the integrity of getting this message out every day. And I hope you all realize it's not easy to do something as consistently as this. But this post yesterday was kind of cool. Tell me how much you're paying rent in, and I will send you a list of homes you could buy for the same payment. That in itself is a really brilliant idea, right? So my question is, we're going to pretend that we have agents that actually did that. And somebody actually replied to the post and said, I'm paying $2,200 a month in rent. And what would a well-trained ZAP agent do with that lead? And then my goal for today is that we end up with a new lead acquired checklist. So we have a little checklist when you acquire a new lead. And if you do a social post like that, I'm sure if somebody, maybe a hand show or a comment, if anybody posted that yesterday and got a response, let us know. Well, just raise your hand or something and say, yes, I did post it. And yes, I did get a response. Then the question would be, what do you do with that lead now? You hit them once and then forget about them? Or do you do what Jimmy's going to show us to do and enter them into ZAP, set them up a campaign, set up a home search criteria with now you know what they're looking for and all the other things we can do. So let's come up with, I don't know, maybe it's 5 or 6 tasks that we have to do when we acquire a new lead to set them up for an auto campaign. This week was it this week? Yeah, Monday was Labor Day. And I got, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20, happy Labor Day emails from our agents for automatic drip campaigns. That should be happening to all of the leads you acquire, especially leads like something like this. And I am like getting no interaction. So nobody sent that post and nobody got any leads from a post like that. So opportunity number 1 is post it. Opportunity number 2 is respond to the leads. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to shut up now because I think you've got the plan. But I'm excited about this because I know that lead follow-up is critical. And ZAP is designed to do that, but you have to start it off correctly.
Correct.
Got it.
And okay, cool. So we'll make this we'll make this easy. Our 5-step plan, once you get a new lead, let's say it's off of a post like that, what are the 5 steps that you need to do to be able to set somebody up in ZAP, get them on a follow-up plan, set up a search, and get the ball rolling. So I think 5 steps is probably good. Now there's more steps kind of in between all of it, but those are the five major steps that we would need.
I'm going to write them down. So we're going to make a checklist today.
So let's go ahead and share my screen. Make sure that you see my ZAP page, if you don't mind. Let me know.
Yep, I see it.
All right, awesome. So first step, when we get the information, the first step is to get the information from whatever the lead is. So you want email, at least email, name and email to set up a ZAP account. Not also add phone number, obviously as many contact methods that you can. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we just got, and I made up a fake account so I can actually set it up for you like it's a brand new account. So when you log into ZAP.
Let's back up. How do we log into ZAP? Because some people aren't familiar.
Yep. So to log into ZAP, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can go to new.myzap.com. So that's new.myzap.com.
And you log in with your 21 online criteria, right?
Correct. It's your 21 online criteria. So it's not your C21BE email. It's your century21.com login. Okay. Now, so that's one way. The other way you can do it, and this is actually nice for people that have been possibly having issues logging in lately, or they haven't logged in a while. Log into 21 online. Okay. And then you can log it. You can basically you can find ZAP in 21 online and it will automatically log you in through that portal to what we see here. So I've had people have issues being able to log into ZAP and then they go into 21 online, log in there, find ZAP, and boom, they're done. And they're in here. Okay. So First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna log in. You're gonna see your dashboard here. Hopefully it looks as good as mine. Just kidding. I mean, it'd be great if it does. Make sure you don't see any reds over here. But the first thing we're gonna do is on the top right-hand side of the screen here, we're gonna go to add, and we're gonna scroll down and click on new contact. Oh, it's blocked by this. Let's move that. And what we're going to do is actually do an individual contact. So we get a new lead, we go to add new contact, individual contact. All right, so this one, I'm just having a little bit of fun with this. So this guy's name is Bruce Wayne. Yep. And his email address is IamAdmin6 for some reason. I don't know. I guess that email's been taken. I am not going to put a phone number in here because one issue that you can run into is if you're making up, let's say, a fake account yourself to play around, which I would highly, highly recommend to do so you can see how this all works if you haven't yet.
That's going to be the homework at the end of our class today.
Yeah. But if there is a phone number already tied into ZAP for this guy, Bruce Wayne, maybe it's a different name, maybe, whatever, it won't actually enter. So if you put in, if I put in my home phone number, then it's going to already populate that there's an account with that number. So I'm not doing that at this point.
Okay, but let me just bring up something else. So let's say, this is a Facebook post and I posted it and somebody who knows me commented on it, but they're also a customer of, I don't know, say Kelly Foreman.
Okay.
So when I go to enter Bruce Wayne, if Bruce Wayne is already in ZAP under Kelly's name, what happens?
Well, if you get it to go through under yours, you would be a secondary agent that will not allow you to send emails, set up searches. You won't be able to do anything. And I'll show you when once I kind of set up this contact where it would say primary agent or secondary agent. If it says secondary agent, what I've been telling people to do is find out who is the primary agent. Are you working with them? Are they working with them? Are you both working with them? And work something out. Whatever that might look like. So they may say, you know what, fine, take them, you get it over to yours, and you can start putting them on campaigns.
Okay, let me just, I'm going to make a point. That's a very good reason why you want to put your contacts in ZAP, because they're yours, right? So we have an issue going on right now, and it's a big issue. Navy Federal is pretty aggressive on the growing field right now. We have a custom agent who is working with a buyer for a long time, showing them all kinds of houses. The buyer wanted to shop rates. The buyer's a Navy Federal member. The buyer went to Navy Fed. Navy Fed enrolled them in the Realty Plus program and assigned them to another one of our agents. See, that would not have happened if the agent that was working with the customer had them in ZAP. When Navy Fed referred them over to, or Carter's referred them over to us, ZAP would have flagged it and said, nope, we already have this customer. But since we didn't have them in ZAP, now the company has to pay a referral to Cardis because our agent didn't claim that customer. And that's a $3,600 fee. I'm not going to penalize the agent, but that sucks. So that's a very good reason to put your contact. I'm trying to be direct here. I want to, this is how you do things. Put your contact in ZAP if you're going to work them. It's going to protect you and it's going to follow up for you. So, all right, sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's perfect. I mean, that's perfect. So, so after you get you can start this profile with just the first, last name, and email address, and that is all you need to get started. What I do recommend though is to go down with some of these options here. You can put the type of lead. So if it's a buyer, seller, vendor, recruit, whatever it may be. So I know this guy is actually he's a buyer. Okay, you have status. You can change. You can do the source type. So family, past client, Zillow, realtor.com, Facebook. Okay, cool. This was a Facebook ad. So the nice thing is when you go in and you actually set this up correctly, if you get multiple leads, let's say from some of your Facebook stuff that you're doing, you can sort them and find every single one that came out on Facebook. Now, some people are going to be like, well, why would I really want to do that? Well, I'll give you a great reason. As you start getting in the business and doing more business, and I actually, was kind of working with Kelly Foreman on this too. Where are your leads coming from? And 2 years from now, you start pulling this up and say, where are my leads coming from? Is it my Spear? Are they the ads that I'm running? Is it coming from Op City? And understanding where your business is, you can take your business to the next level from something like that. But I'd highly recommend to fill out as much information as you can, at least some notes. I know that this guy needs to downsize from his huge mansion and bat cave, do something a little bit smaller. You can put professional information, social profile, whatever you like, okay? So then once you get that information in there, you're gonna come down here to the right and we're gonna add. So now it's gonna actually pull up your contacts, but it said this little pop-up right here comes up and says, would you like to send a welcome email? So this is kind of like the next step. After you add the contact, you wanna go ahead and send the welcome email. If you haven't set this up, this is another class that we'll go over. But as you can see, this on the left here is what is going to be sent to my client, Bruce Wayne.
If you don't mind, Jimmy, let's read it and see what it says. So that,
yeah. Well, how about this? I will show you where you can find it. So if you want to see what your welcome email is going to say, you come over here on the right, you click on your name. Okay. Oh, stop. And let's see. Account settings. Let me make sure I'm right here. Email settings. Nope. Just mark it. Where is it? Statement. No, I know it's in here. Give me just a sec. I know it's here because you can change it. And actually what I've been noticing with the new agents, they actually have a capability when they log in to set some pretty cool things up.
Is it the manage tab on the left?
Oh no, I mean, no, because that's your follow-up. That's where you can add and manage your follow-up plans and stuff like that. It's in your settings. And I swear it's on your website because it should be on your email. Statement, sources, reviews. No, I'll have to tell you what it is. I'll play around. I'll find it.
But it gave you
Here, that's just this. Let me show you my email. This is what it says.
I just created an account for you on my website, giving you access to a powerful real estate website with local data and online search tools. The listings are made available directly from the MLS, so your home search will always be current and complete. This is the most up-to-date, comprehensive real estate information on the market. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with. And then they got to create a password. Yep. All right, now that's important psychologically. If they create a password, that's a serious inquiry, right? More serious than not. So you're going to gauge this. This guy just answered a Facebook post, said, yeah, I'm paying $2,200 a month. What can I get out there?
Right. Well, and one of the things that I'm going to show you to do too is you're going to end up sending some more things to them. And if they want to view and see what's happening, they're going to have to do that if they want to see this property or this search that you're going to do. So
we're going to get them engaged.
Yes. Okay, cool. So now that we have sent our email, the next thing we need to do is set up a follow-up plan. As you can see here, after we send the email and we do put the contact in, you can see that you have all of that. You basically are at your contacts. Now, at any point in time, no matter what you're doing, you have this search bar on the top where you can search by name, phone number, or email for the client. So I'm looking for Bruce Wayne, which is right here. Cool. So some of the things to look at for here. So I said I'd come and show you this. So if you scroll down here where it says account information, you can see agent status. And it says primary agent. So that's how you know if it's yours or if it's somebody else, if someone else has already put them into ZAP. Okay. So before we go into like all this stuff, again, we want to set up a follow-up plan. That's the next thing we're going to do. You can either scroll down, or as you scroll down, you can see here on the top where it says basic information, ZAP score, campaigns. That's always going to be there. So if you ever get lost trying to find out where you need to go, I'm going to set up some type of campaign.
So I'm in the contact tab,
Yep.
And I'm going to identify my customer.
Yep.
I do the prospect. Scroll down and find.
Campaigns.
Oh. Okay.
And then you're going to look at follow-up plan. Now, as you can see on this one, there is already a follow-up plan started. So the reason this happened is because I set it up as a new lead. One of those options you could click on, you could put new, you can put hot, you can put cold, incubating, whatever it is. So this already has a new buyer follow-up plan set up. And a lot of people
set that up in your initial setup.
It automatically set it up when I picked that it was a new lead.
But is that going to happen to me if I'm brand new at this?
Yes, as long as you click it's a new lead, yes.
Okay.
Okay. But you may not like the new buyer follow-up plan. You may not even know what it is. But one thing you'll see is something will pop up on my dashboard to start with this. But very easy to change or to view it. So over here on the right, you see where it says view. I'm going to click on it, and then it will pull up what the plan's going to be. So what this is going to do is I need to make a phone call ASAP. So it says phone call ASAP. So this should be up in my dashboard already saying I have something to do.
Is this pre-populated or did you make this?
Mm-hmm. No, this is pre-populated. I don't really make too much more. I use what's there. Honestly, it's a lot more efficient and easier. You, by all means, if you want to play around with it in your time. So cool thing with these is so you'll see phone call ASAP. Okay, so once I make that phone call here, now I can adjust this and move it around where I want it to go. But once I make this phone call and the next day they send this email, 5 days later they send this email, or actually, so 5 days later is a personal email, so it's not going to automatically go. Okay.
But it's going to be on your dashboard reminding you got things to do.
Reminding me that we have to do it. Yep. Okay. Brian's so I'm just going to leave it set up on this. Yeah. What's that?
Brian's asking what campaigns have worked best for you.
Well, I like the new plan is nice. There's a hot plan that is 27 like 27 contacts that are all like automatic, like you don't have to do anything. So if you get someone who's like super hot, you can put it on there. I tend to do the new, I'll go back and set people up on cold or incubating if they're not really responding to see what's up. But let me show you this. So one of the cool things you can do, go back here real quick. Oops, sorry. So let's do.
So 5 days from now, when you log into your ZAP, which you're supposed to log into ZAP every day, when you log into your homepage, it's going to say activity. And if you click on that, it's going to say send a personal email to Bruce. And then you have to do it.
So one of the cool things, I'm going to show you through emails real quick. So you can write your own email, but you can always, where are you at? No, too far. Okay, you can always select a script at any time. And so the more that you use this, the better you're going to know if people are doing stuff. Okay, and what I mean by that is, as you can see on the right-hand side, you can see how some of the emails, like this one here, I have a 39% open rate of that email. And it says, are you still searching for a place to rent? I have a 25% open rate on a property search link. 30%, 22, 12. So the more that you start sending it, you'll start seeing what people are opening, and then you start seeing what your clients are actually looking more at. So what I normally recommend is the more that you do it, you see what everybody's doing and they're actually opening it. Those are some of the ones that I may resend, a few months later, because I know that I have a higher open rate and that they're going to look at it more. But you can see like there's some that are low, some that I haven't used. Look, happy birthday, 36%, whatever. So the more you use it, it will tell you what your clients like. So what works for me may not work for you. My advice, put them on a plan regardless and see how it works. Okay.
That's your personal success rate on that plan, right? Not
personal success rate. Yes. Yeah. Personal success rate. Okay. Cool. So now we've added a contact. We've sent a welcome email. We've set up a follow-up plan. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a, okay.
Say that again, Jim. You muffled it.
Sorry. So we added a contact. We sent a welcome email. We set up a follow-up plan. Now we're going to set up a search. Okay,
So
and to
when
do
we set
that,
up a search, that means so Bruce is looking for downsizing. He wants to be in, I'll just say South Shore. So you're going to set up a search of properties in that price range in South Shore.
correct.
But you're going to set it up as if you're him, right?
Correct. So what you'll do under the contact, so you have to be under the contact on this page, or you can't do anything. You click here where it says more. And then you're going to scroll down to where you see sign in as contact. Okay, so click on more and go into sign in as contact. Okay, cool. So now one of the things that you can see to make sure that you are signed in as them, you'll see two little things here. You see the first one on the top left here that says sign out and return to ZAP. And you are signed in as Bruce Wayne.
You get a kick out of that, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Kind of fun. Well, I mean, the last one I did, I made Brad Pitt, you know, like that was, you know, for some reason. All right, cool. So there's a ton of different ways to search in here. Now, and I'm going to put a disclaimer out here. I still feel that MLS can do a little bit more. If you have something very specific, like put them on both. But you want your clients on this regardless, because this thing like tells, it's like you're a stalker. You can see when they look at your website. You can see when they're looking at a property. You can see if they're looking outside of the state at property. It just tells you, and then all of a sudden it can even show you what the price range is and how many beds and bath the more that they're looking at it. So, you know, you can really get a good idea if someone is motivated and starting to move by making sure that they use this.
Hey, Jimmy, Schnock had a question. When they reply to the email, where does it go? Does it go to our BE account?
Yep.
So when you're set up in your setup of ZAP, you put in your email address that this is going to go to.
Correct. So you'll get that there. And then also, you will also be able to go back at any time and look at the history or what they call business side of it. And you can see any message that's been sent back and forth and the time frame that it was sent.
Cool.
Okay, so what I'm
Jimmy, have you had any issues with their this welcome email going to their spam?
Yes, sometimes. So that might be something you want to let them know, or that's a great follow-up. If you're on a new follow-up plan and it says the first thing you need to do is a phone call, ask them if they got that email. And if they didn't, ask them to check their spam. You can at any time resend the welcome email at any time. I'll show you that real quick. We're just here in our contact, same thing, Bruce Wayne. And you can see down here where I can send welcome email again. I can also share my mobile app link here directly to them through email. I can even ask for a review. But if you need to resend it, this is where you resend it. But yes, have them check spam just to be safe. All right, cool. So as you can see, when you are logged in as them, this is what they see. It's the same thing. So you can search by square footage, lot size, price, neighborhood, community. You can even, again, I know he wants a single family home. Okay, he did tell me that. He downsizing for Bruce Wayne though, he's got like an 8,000 square foot, you know, mansion at least. So he does, it's really more price point for him. So I'm gonna make a search up to, let's say 400 just right now. Oh look, it even gives me this little drop down.
Now, in this case, guys, at this stage, less is more. The more restrictive you get, the less stuff they're going to see. And then when they get engaged with this, they can go in and change their settings and change their alert notifications.
And this feeds directly from MLS. So this is what I tell agents all the time also is if you go in there and you see how it says maximum HOA dues, you know, that is actually very cool that that's an option. But if an agent doesn't put it in correctly into MLS and it doesn't show up, then it's not going to, it may not even pop up for a potential client. So less is more because we know that it's not, everything's not always inputted, you know, correctly. So, but this does give some options if they want to play around with it and do a search. So I have started a search. I just clicked Riverview to start because I want to show you how to do a map search. It's a little bit different than what MLS does. And then I'm going to show you some things that are kind of cool because I could do by schools district. I could go neighborhood. Let's just say he wants to be in Mirror Bay. I literally can pull up and set up a search just for Mirror Bay directly from here, which is pretty cool and pretty easy. So these are some houses in Riverview that popped up. But what I'm going to do is I want to do a little bit more broad of a search, not just Riverview. I want to go a little south, a little north, all that good stuff. So this is what populated here for my Riverview search. Okay. Now I can come over here to draw just like you would with MLS, but I am going to start here. So what's different with drawing on this compared to MLS is the MLS search, you could do multiple sections at one time. Like I can hit 4 different areas and circle it and draw it out. This one you cannot. You'd have to set up multiple different searches if you want to do that. But as you can see, it drags the line where I want to go. So now I have a map search here that is set up. And then one of the things I want to do with this is he does not want to live in a 55 plus. So I'm going to exclude that. But to give you an idea, if you look on the left, you'll see some of the homes start to pop up. And as you see me scrolling by them, you see it pop up on the screen where it's located. Kind of cool. All right, now I want to recommend this search. This is kind of where I want to get started with him. So you click on here where it says recommend, and this little thing's going to pop up. Now, what it does, since I made a map, is it just says Riverview 400K. I'm just going to say South Shore 400K. So that is what the name of the search is going to be. And I'm going to say here is the search I send if you like. Okay, so I'm basically telling them if they like anything, and I'm going to show you how to do this, hit the favorite or heart icon. And that's how I can see, you know, not just what they're looking at, but what they're like very, very interested in. So now I'm going to email this recommendation, and we now have a search set up for Batman. Let's see how long it takes to come through. I'll give that a couple minutes. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the contact page again here with ZAP real quick, and then we're going to go back over. I just want to show you where that that will pop up. So it may take a little bit of time to populate, but if you want to see if you have any searches set, yeah, so it hasn't populated on this yet, but you will see your new listing alerts here. I'm going to try and.
Well, it says emails will be sent to I am Batman.
Well, what it does and what it will do here, I'll show you on a different account.
But while that's thinking, let me repeat what I wrote down here because I want you to approve this.
Okay.
Number 1, capture the name and email, mandatory. Get as much information as you can from the lead, from your Facebook lead we just talked about. Number 2, log into ZAP, and you can do it either via 21 Online or new.myzap.com. You're going to press add a new contact. You're going to select individual contact in this case, and you're going to fill in as much information as you have, but it must have email and name. And then you're going to fill in as much as you can. Source and notes are important going forward. A year from now, you're going to look back, be really happy you spent the time to put in the source and notes. You know, their dog's name is Fluffy, et cetera, all that stuff. Step 4 is you're going to select add, and you're going to fill in the information. Then once you're filled in, you're going to hit send welcome email, which is fine as it is. We just read it to you. That's the stock footage.
Yeah.
Then you go, so what you send the welcome email, which is going to say, I'm hooking you up with the Badass website. Then you're going to set them up with a follow-up plan, and your recommendation, just do the new buyer plan. It's got 5 touch points for you to stay in touch with them. And then when you log into ZAP every day, it's going to tell you what you have to do. And once you send that, then you set them up on a follow-up plan. Under the contact tab, you hit ID prospect, identify the prospect as a new buyer, a hot buyer, a renter, whatever they are. And then you're going to select a campaign, select campaigns, and then choose follow-up plan. And your recommendation was new buyer. Step 7 was set up a search. When you're in the prospects contact tab, you set up a search, you click more, you sign it as contact, you select the criteria that you want them to see, and then you recommend the search, which is going to ask you to name the search, and then you hit email this recommendation. So now they're set up with a campaign, and if they start dancing around in there, you're going to be a fly on the wall and get to see what they're seeing.
Exactly.
And if they don't,
and I mean, you could,
you're going to see they are not engaged, so they're not a hot prospect.
Yep. So, so it has this. So this has populated. So this is the email that I received, and to keep up to date here, Jimmy said, "Here's the search, so you can see what I wrote in for the search. This is what they got, and this is where they could click here to view the custom search, which would take them to this search that I've already set up." Okay. And then,
how does the customer feel this way? So somebody who's a friend of yours, quote unquote, friend of yours from Facebook, responded to Mike's post concept of tell me what your rent is and I'll send you houses that you can afford, right? And then they get a welcome email to your badass website. And then they get an email from you with a search that already has properties identified where you think they're interested in. Now, don't get all persnickety here. You're going to be building a relationship with them. If they don't like the area you set up, change it. Show them how to change it, but just do it, right? It's okay if you send them too much information. We can whittle it down later, or you might expose them to things. You know what? I mean, we were talking a while back, and haven't done it in a while, but Lake Toscana is a badass community that nobody knows how to find or where it's at until you do. So if you happen to include Waimama in your search criteria and a map search like that, somebody might mouse over and say, oh, $400,000, I can get a house on an acre, brand new. And people are looking for houses on it. I need to call Ali today. Actually, just touch base on that, sorry. See what's going on out there, if there is a flight to rural areas. Anyway, so my point is just don't get too persnickety. Just send something out and then you'll build a relationship and zone in later.
Yeah. I've had many times where I've set up searches and they start popping up that they're very active, and then it's in a totally different area than I set up a search for. But you know what I did? I went and found out where area they were looking in, and I adjusted the search to actually start sending them stuff. So, so I'm back on the contact page here. I just want to show you what it looks like when a listing when a listing alerts are turned on. You have a search set up. So you can see here new listing alerts. Right here when it was created. Now, some people have asked me this, and this is where you can do this. Hey, I need you to stop sending me all those listings. I'm off the market for, I can't buy a house for another year. I just lost my job. I don't want to see anything, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to delete them out of here and say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Someone may just want to just slow down a little bit. All you have to do is where it says activate here, click this, and it will stop sending them alerts for that. And then they call you a month later and say, it's back on, let's do it. Come back in here, hit activate, you're ready to go again. Okay. So now that we've set up a search, we've sent them something, this last piece here, I think is very important. I think you should do this with, you know, just randomly do this honestly with your clients. If they're, you know, somewhat, if they are on your ZAP website, they're looking at things, just kind of keep stuff going. But let's say, for instance, I'm going to grab this. Let's say, oh, this is the house right here. Yeah, that's it. This is the house. I think this is an unbelievable form. Or you know what? It's the beginning of a search. Let me just show you what we have here. Blah, 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 blah. This isn't exactly the best one to pick, but whatever. I just want to show you something that I do quite a bit. And again, when they ask, how do I favorite something? This is basic. This is what they see. This little heart here. If I click on that, I'm now recommending it to them.
Are you logged in as Zen or logged in as
I'm logged in as them still as them. This is awesome.
And do spend time and proofread your messages.
Oh, I'm terrible. Like, well, I'm just doing quick now. Yes, I
I
have
am
to
too.
like a zillion times. All right, cool. So now I just recommended this property to him, saying I think this is pretty sweet.
Now,
Gives
is
you
he
some
going to get an
basic
email that you
information.
recommended? Is it going to show up on his app, or what's he going to get?
It will be an email that he will get, and we'll see how long it takes to populate. It seems to be moving pretty quick. Okay. So I recommended that. Now I can also put I can also put private notes in here. So this is not seen on my website, but I can add notes saying this house here is perfect. It just doesn't have a fence, or, and then, so I have private notes about this home, and anybody that's on my website that looks at this home will see my notes on
That's
my
super
website.
cool.
So if you have seen the property, write some cool notes about it. All right, so that's taking a second. Okay, cool. So as you can see here, I recommended a property. That's something I highly recommend after you set up a search. Recommend a couple, just so they can see like, hey, these three are specific that I think are perfect for you. And again, this is something that I recommend to do, a decent amount of time. If you do have somebody who's very active, or maybe they're just slowly active looking at things, they're not a super high score, recommend some stuff. All it's doing is sending them another email saying, hey, take a look at this property. Yeah, it's taking a minute. All right, so I'm back on in ZAP. I'm on the dashboard. This will populate soon. That I have to make a phone call. It'll probably be later today or tomorrow. So I will actually get a reminder saying that I need to make a phone call to start that follow-up plan. So that it will not send that email until oh, here we go. And here's the email I got. Hey, wow, this is awesome. When you want to take a look. So within a couple minutes of doing it, now they got another email. So they've already gotten 3 emails today saying, get on my website, here's a search, and look, I already found a home for you. Boom.
All right, I would like to hear some chat back and forth. If anybody wants to say anything, let me know. Am I batshit crazy, or does this make sense? I know it's like a work thing, but it makes sense. I mean, every lead you get, what if you guys see when I do sales meeting every week, we're doing 50, 60, 70 leads just from century21.com alone. What if we all did that? It makes perfect sense. Thank you, Shakwana, sorry. I honestly had no clue that I could do as much in ZAP. So Jimmy, I think what we're gonna do is make this part of the onboarding video series. So now that we can evergreen this thing. So Angelique, I see you're online. This might be part of your onboarding, because if the agents knew how to do it, that was my point. If we knew how to do this, we'd do it. And we got 70 something people online right now. Or we had 70 something people on. So we educated them. This is not hard stuff. Ah, there you go.
The best CRM that you have is the one that your broker gives you. So use it. And it does a ton of stuff. It's amazing. It really does. Like I've literally had times where I had no idea someone was ready to buy. I just had them on follow-up links, and that's my fault too, that I'm not keeping up with them as much. But you get busy with other business and life. All of a sudden I log in and they're at the very top of my search, and I'm like, oh, I need to call this guy. What's going on? Boom, done. And turns out that he's ready to go.
Don't punish yourself. Not everybody's perfect at follow-up, but at least you have a system that tells you you're not perfect. And then when you get a few minutes, you can go do that. There's a lot of comments now. Let me see what some of these guys are saying.
Hey, and also guys, that don't just set it up for your buyers, set it up for your sellers. Let's say you have a seller that isn't quite ready to pull the trigger. Maybe they have some things they're trying to do, whatever that may be. Set it up in their community. So, and then again, you can see how active they are looking at what's happening, and recommend them properties. Hey, this property is just like yours, but yours has so many more upgrades. Let me know if you have any questions. Do it for sellers and buyers. Don't just do this just for buyers. This is your CRM for everybody.
Carol says, is there any difference between ZAP and the equivalent in Business Builder? I use campaigns in Business Builder. Do I need to do both? Totally different, but very similar. ZAP has the artificial intelligence to sneak behind the camera and see what's going on in their world. Business Builder does not, right? I think you have a better selection of automatic email campaigns in Business Builder, but it's not. Business Builder is more like keeping in touch with your sphere of influence. ZAP is more like a CRM for active leads, right? Business Builder is going to say happy birthday, happy spring, happy Labor Day to people that know you to keep you top of mind. ZAP is for your prospects that need follow-up and nurturing.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So
I think that the content that you have in Business Builder for those type of plans, follow-up plans, like again, for birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays, it's definitely more vast. Like you can't pull up a picture in, I mean, you can send it that way through ZAP, but it's not set up that way. If you Business Builder is more kind of like, to me, on the back end, after you've already kind of taken care of your clients, is the way I kind of look at it. I mean, that's just me.
Tony's asking, how long does it take for ZAP to load 0-day properties versus MLS? It's going to have a lag for sure, because MLS gets it and then ZAP's got to pull it. Every 15 minutes it pulls or something?
Yeah, I think it's like every 15 minutes. So I say it'd be pretty typical to like what happens with Zillow, because it's fed the same way.
Yeah. And so I think, Jimmy, you also said MLS's search is more robust. So set them up on 2, but you want them shopping on your site so you can get the intel. Neil said,
set them up on this, and if you can get them to, if you can find the houses this way, leave it like that. Put them on MLS if there's something more specific that you have to get into also. But do both. Definitely do both.
Jessica said she heard that ZAP is going away. Is this wrong? Yes, it's wrong. It's going to be improved, but they paid 166 million. Is that, I'm not saying something true? ZAP is going to be around. Or do you know, is it changing?
ZAP is going to be around. I know that they are in the process of talking.
Because you're beta testing new protocol for ZAP.
Yeah, so I really don't know 100% how everything will how it will fall out and stuff like that. But I've had this question a few times, and what I've kind of told everybody is, look, use what you have. If they make any changes, they're gonna import it from this. They're not gonna just say, hey, start from scratch and do everything all over again. So use this, stay up to date with it. If they make updates and make it better, you're already using it. It's already ready to go. You already have everything there. Because I'll tell you what, a red lead is going to be a red lead no matter what. Or a red, so you just use it. Use what we have. Don't get behind. I literally did classes last week where I helped agents with, it was about 1,300 leads went from red to green. 1,300.
Wow. And that cleaned them up in our ZAP.
Not even all the way. They still had about 2,500 left they had to do, but we got through 1,300. That was only 3 people. So if you don't use ZAP and you start getting this stuff, you're going to be in the same situation, which can be a little tough.
On the ZAP app on your smartphone, is there a problem with that? It takes forever to open and load?
I don't have any issues with it.
Brian asked the question.
Are you talking ZAP like, are we talking the
mobile
ZAP app to actually add, or the actual website?
No, they're with the app.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with yeah, I mean, I've already logged in.
It takes a long time to open on the app. Kristen said hers takes forever too. Do ZAP and Business Builder talk to each other? No. I think you can share though. Am I correct on that? Jimmy, can't you share?
Yeah, you can import and stuff like that. It's pretty easy.
ZAP said automatic newly posted homes like MLS. Yes. If you set up a search for them, when they post, they'll be sent. ZAP asks if you need additional search criteria. I don't know what that means. ZAP asks if you need additional search criteria.
ZAP asks.
You can put as much as you want, but I still
Yeah.
recommend this is more. Nancy says, if you mark a client, past client, will they still receive, mark a client, past client, will they still receive real estate letters, etc.? If you have them on a campaign, yes, they'll receive them as long as they're active.
Yeah.
Dick says, when we have the next class for red dots. Well, you
I'm
record.
having one. Well, the recording didn't work probably as well. I know Jonathan's still working on it from last week. I am going to do a couple more next week, but I am going to set them up specifically for new agents and kind of getting started and learning the system, and then more of a tenured kind of, hey, I've been using it for a while and I need help. So I'm going to be doing that next week, and we'll have some, and the recording will be much better with those if I separate it that way.
So there's a lot of chatter going on about, you said the app works fine for you. A lot of agents saying it doesn't work for them. It could be a setting on your phone for all we know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and the other thing I would do is ask your clients, are they having the same issue? I mean, I'm right in it and I'm not having any issues, but
Thomas says, if I'm showing as a secondary agent, how do I find out who the first or primary? Call the front desk, call Rosa or Shelly, and they can look it up for you.
have that conversation with that agent.
And then you just reach, and then, if they're working on, you can still work them, but you've got a conflict, right?
Yep.
And
you're not going to be able to use that for it.
But you won't be able to, because that agent took the time to put them in ZAP.
All right. So whoever this Galaxy S10 user, will ZAP link to MLS at some point? What do you mean by that? I mean, because right now it does connect. MLS does feed ZAP. Are you talking more setting up showings and things like that, or because you cannot do that through ZAP? You cannot set up a showing.
No. Something that's going to happen just behind industry chatter right now. The Zillow is pushing allow the customer to set their own appointment right now. And it's really pissing off the Zillow agents, because the customer gets pissed because they say, I want to see the house tomorrow at 10, and the house isn't available tomorrow at 10. So what Zillow is doing now is they're going to tie in with showing time, which I think once that happens industry-wide, the other websites are going to do that too.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see. We're going to have questions in the Q&A as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, apps never have all the info that a full functioning website does. Where can I find this training recorded? You can find it on our app, the Century 21 Beggins app in the App Store, or you can find it at be3agents.century. What is it? I get the website wrong. be3agents.com. It's on my sales meeting agenda. I talk about it every week. The app or that website, be3agents.com, have all the recorded trainings. Molly says she has to go to a computer to see all lead info. So the app does have all the lead information?
I think it depends on what you're looking at. There is more on the computer. Does give you more. You can see more on the computer, but you should be able to get the majority of what you need from the app. You should be able to get phone number, email, what they're looking at, stuff like that.
Which do you use most, the desktop or the app on your phone?
A daily basis is desktop, but if I'm out and about, ZAP. So as I'm getting leads, or if I'm just sitting somewhere and I'm like, you know what, because I get emails every day. Like I had an email yesterday morning that said, hey, you have to follow up with 12 people today. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. Oh God. I said, I got to do it. And I was just sitting in the car line getting ready to pick up my son. So I just kind of went through it on there and still sent my emails and, made my phone calls. And if I put agent insight, if I'm out showing homes, I have to get better at this, but if I'm out showing homes, I can go into ZAP and I can put insight right away after I show a house and it uses your location to see where you're at. So it's pretty quick. You can put some information in. Right. But typically I do the majority of it on.
Yeah, I think this is like, you get up in the morning and you have your coffee and you go check in your ZAP and do it from a desktop. You'll have a better experience. But it's really one of those things we want you to do it right. You do it every day. You log in and see what's going on. Yep. And you make your contacts. Well, Jimmy, I think this is very helpful. I'm going to type up the notes that I wrote here. I'm going to send them to you to bless and edit if you want. And then I'll probably just put them in, I'll put it in a Google Drive. And then I'll share it with the team so they can see what we talked about today. And then you can watch it on the app, or you can watch it at be3agents.com. And we should be good.
Sounds good.
Good. Any other last minute? Oh, guys, last night I got the Energage survey, which is the top workplaces. If you are willing, please we'd appreciate if you take it. If not, we'll appreciate you don't, because we're not supposed to ask you to. But check your email. You should have gotten it last night. I did. I took it. It took me about 4 minutes maybe. But it's important to get those survey results in if we want to be a contender for that again. All right. All right. I guess we can sign off now, right? 9:20.
Yeah. There was one more question. I think Brian said, "Hold on. Are you able to do setup campaigns yet?" No, not. You can't do that from the app.
Right.
You can't set up a campaign for the app.
Yeah, that's when I said this is really one of those things. Get up, have your coffee, check your 21 years app, and do it from the desktop or a laptop. Or
I mean, you can at least do the follow-up and handle your requests, leads, reminders, and all this stuff. You can do that from your phone. You can do that from the app. But if you want to get more advanced and set up searches and recommend properties and things like that, you want to do it. You want to do it from here.
Yep. So, Jimmy, would you be embarrassed? I said, pull up your Reels app and let's see how much activity you have going on there. This is when you actually use the website the way it's supposed to be used. Just we got a couple minutes left.
So one of the things that I do, which I highly recommend everybody to do, is you can actually search, or you can kind of filter how you want this to look. So a lot of times your ZAP is set up and you don't know what's going on. Okay. Change it to have your highest score at the top. These are your most active members, active clients. Okay. And this is legit. This is my wife.
Okay. So Tasha logged in on 8/31. And Lucia,
this is legit because she wants to buy a new home. She wants us to sell and buy a new home. That's the discussion we're having in the McNally household right now. So let's see what we have going on with her. So ZAP score, we can see that.
What do you want in a new home? Is this because is this a spark of COVID? Let's talk about real life here.
No, it's not COVID related.
Okay.
It's OCD related, and she just wants to, you know,
get a 2.5% interest rate for 30.
I mean, that too, that too. So, I mean, we're kind of weighing some options and seeing, what we're doing. So, as you look here, you can see your ZAP score. 56% of the time here, she's logging into the mobile app. 28, she save a home 28% of the time. But let's see where she's looking. Okay, so she's looking in Apollo Beach and Ruskin right now.
Split.
Okay, we're looking at $294 is the average price that she's looked at. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 2,300 square feet. I don't even think I have a search set on for her. See, I don't even have a search. She's just been on it.
How about
see that?
Did you already?
That was my dashboard. I updated everything this morning. Yesterday and today, I had a couple more that popped up today, but it wasn't.
Okay, so it should look like this, except for the new leads part. But that means everything's current and up to date because you updated it this morning. And if you or anybody else in the company, other than Jimmy or maybe my daughter Jessica, there'll be all kinds of leads that have been abandoned here that need to be caught up, which we'll do another day.
Yes,
cool.
We'll do that another day.
All right, guys. Today's Thursday, September 10th. Can't wait for the hot sheet to come out in an hour and a half. And oh, cool. We'll see how many deals. That hot sheet from what day was it? Tuesday, 24 contracts. That just makes we're not slowing down. We're slowing down from breakneck speed to just warp speed. But just stay up, stay adamant, stay knowledgeable, and stay tuned. Thanks, everybody.